Ladies and gentlemen, there is a moment in life when we look at the empty seat beside us and wonder, God, when will my person come? We pray, we search, and sometimes we even doubt. But the truth remains. Marriage is not just a human desire, it is a divine calling, a sacred bond designed by the Creator himself. And when the time is right, nothing can stand in the way of what God has ordained. The human heart is often restless, longing for the fulfillment of desires that seem just beyond reach. Among these desires, the longing for marriage stands as one of the deepest and most personal. It is a yearning not just for companionship, but for connection, understanding, and a covenantal love that stands firm through time. Yet, as with all things ordained by God, marriage does not come according to human impatience, but according to divine timing. This is a truth that, though difficult to accept, is essential for those who seek a union that is built not on fleeting emotions, but on an unshakable foundation. Impatience is a natural response to waiting, especially in a world that encourages immediate gratification. Society teaches that if something is desired, it should be pursued without delay. This mindset often leads people to force relationships, ignore red flags, and settle for less than what God intended. The danger of impatience is not just in the rush, but in the blindness it creates. When driven by our own timelines, we become deaf to God's voice and miss the lessons He is teaching us in the waiting. There is great wisdom in allowing God to lead, rather than attempting to control the process. God's timing is not arbitrary, nor is it a test of endurance. It is a process of preparation, refinement, and alignment. A person who desires marriage must first become the person that marriage requires. Love is not merely an emotion, it is a responsibility, a selfless commitment that calls for maturity, patience, and understanding. Rushing into marriage without first allowing God to cultivate these qualities can lead to heartbreak, confusion, and unnecessary struggle. The waiting period is not wasted time. It is the season in which character is shaped, wounds are healed, and faith is strengthened. Many people look around and see others getting engaged, married, and building families, which can lead to feelings of discouragement. Comparison is one of the greatest enemies of contentment. It creates the illusion that God has forgotten or overlooked those who are still waiting. But God does not delay without purpose. He sees the unseen, knows the unknown, and understands what is needed before the blessing arrives. If a person is not yet married, it is not because they are unworthy or because God is withholding joy. It is because there is still something being worked out for their ultimate good. Faith in God's timing does not mean passivity. It does not mean sitting idly by and expecting marriage to arrive without effort or preparation. Instead, it means actively trusting that God is orchestrating every detail. It means pursuing growth, deepening one's relationship with God, and living a life of purpose regardless of marital status. The best marriages are not formed by those who are desperate to be married, but by those who are already living fulfilled, purpose-driven lives. Marriage should not be the source of joy, it should be an addition to a life already rich with meaning. There is a profound peace that comes from surrendering to God's timing. The moment a person releases the need to control and embraces trust is the moment they step into freedom. There is no anxiety in knowing that what God has planned will come to pass at exactly the right moment. When the appointed time arrives, no force in the universe can delay it, and no circumstance can prevent it. The person that God has prepared will arrive, and the union that He has ordained will unfold effortlessly, without manipulation or striving. Patience is not a punishment, it is a protection. God is not making anyone wait as a form of cruelty, but as an act of deep love and wisdom. A marriage built on divine timing will stand through every trial, whereas one built on impatience may crumble under the weight of misalignment. The waiting season is sacred, a time to prepare, trust, and grow. And when the right time comes, the beauty of God's perfect plan will be undeniable. Marriage is often seen as the ultimate destination, a place where love finds its fulfillment and two lives merge into one. However, the journey toward marriage is just as important as the union itself. Many desire the beauty of a lifelong partnership, but few take the necessary steps to prepare for the weight that marriage carries. A successful marriage is not built in a single moment. It is the result of preparation, refinement, and a willingness to grow before stepping into that sacred covenant. Preparation for marriage is not merely about finding the right person, but about becoming the right person. It is easy to focus on the qualities desired in a future spouse, while neglecting the responsibility of self-development. Love is not sustained by attraction or fleeting emotions. It requires patience, kindness, sacrifice, and deep commitment. If these qualities are not cultivated beforehand, marriage will not create them. The habits, mindset, and character traits developed in singleness will either enrich or weaken the future relationship. The time before marriage is a season of preparation, where growth must take place, wounds must be healed, and maturity must be embraced. One of the greatest misconceptions is that marriage will solve loneliness or bring a sense of completion. Many enter relationships expecting their partner to fill emotional voids or bring fulfillment that only God can provide. This expectation places an unfair burden on the relationship, leading to disappointment and frustration. True preparation involves learning to be content, whole, and at peace in singleness. A person who has not yet found joy, purpose, and security in themselves will struggle to maintain a healthy marriage. Marriage is not a cure for unhappiness. It is an extension of the life already being lived. Those who take time to develop self-awareness, strengthen their faith, and cultivate emotional stability will bring far more to their union than those who rush in, hoping marriage will fix what is lacking. Preparation also involves learning the dynamics of a lasting relationship. Love is not simply about passion, it is about endurance, communication, and selflessness. Many relationships falter because individuals enter marriage without an understanding of what it truly requires. Conflict resolution, financial stewardship, shared values, and spiritual alignment are all aspects that must be considered long before vows are exchanged. A strong foundation is built when two individuals commit to personal growth and seek wisdom in preparation for marriage, rather than waiting for challenges to arise before learning how to handle them. It is also crucial to recognize that preparation is not just about personal development, but about alignment with God's will. Many rush into relationships without asking if the person they are pursuing is truly meant to walk beside them. Feelings alone are not confirmation of a lifelong partnership. It takes discernment, prayer, and a willingness to wait for the right person rather than forcing a connection that was never intended to last. God's timing and purpose must be trusted above human desires. Just because someone is ready for marriage does not mean the right person has arrived. A season of waiting should not be mistaken for denial, but seen as divine preparation. Patience in preparation prevents unnecessary heartbreak. Many relationships fail because they were built on a foundation of urgency rather than wisdom. A rushed commitment often leads to misalignment, and what begins with excitement can quickly turn into struggle. A well-prepared person enters marriage with clarity, understanding, and a heart that is ready to serve rather than just receive. The time before union is not a waiting room where nothing happens. It is an active process of becoming the kind of person who can build a marriage that will stand strong through every season of life. In life's most important decisions, especially in the journey toward marriage, there is a deep desire for certainty. The heart longs for assurance that the steps being taken are aligned with God's plan. While emotions and human reasoning often cloud judgment, God provides signs and confirmations that bring clarity and peace. These signals are not random, they are intentional messages designed to guide, protect, and prepare individuals for what lies ahead. The challenge is not whether God speaks, but whether one is attentive enough to recognize his voice amid the noise of personal desires and societal expectations. One of the clearest ways God confirms his plans is through peace. When something is within his will, there is an unshakable sense of calm that surpasses human understanding. It does not mean there will be no challenges or uncertainties, but rather that the heart remains steady despite them. A decision made outside of his will often brings inner turmoil, hesitation, or confusion. Many dismiss these feelings as natural fear or overthinking, but they are often divine warnings signaling that something is not right. When God is leading, there is a stillness in the soul that no external circumstances can disrupt. Another way God provides confirmation is through alignment. When he orchestrates a relationship, things fall into place in ways that human effort alone cannot achieve. Timing, circumstances, and shared values begin to align in a way that seems almost effortless. While every relationship requires work, a God-ordained connection is not marked by constant struggle or forceful striving. When two people are meant to be together, there is a natural rhythm to their journey, and their lives complement one another rather than contradict. If a relationship is filled with constant uncertainty, repeated obstacles, or unresolved conflicts, it may be a sign that God is withholding his blessing for a reason. God also confirms his plans through Scripture. The Bible is not just a historical text, it is a living guide that provides wisdom and direction. When seeking confirmation, Scripture often speaks directly to the heart, illuminating truths that were previously unclear. A verse may stand out, a passage may provide direct answers, or a biblical principle may convict the soul about the right course of action. God's word is consistent, and he will never lead anyone into a relationship that contradicts his teachings. If a relationship requires compromising faith, moral values, or integrity, it is not from him. Wise counsel is another way God provides confirmation. He places mentors, spiritual leaders, and trusted friends in life to offer guidance and insight. When multiple sources of wisdom point in the same direction, it is often a strong indication of God's leading. However, counsel must come from those who are spiritually grounded and seeking God's will, rather than projecting personal opinions. There is wisdom in seeking advice, but the ultimate confirmation must come from a personal relationship with God. No one else can determine his will for another person's life, but they can serve as instruments to bring clarity and affirmation. Circumstances also serve as indicators of God's direction. When doors open effortlessly and opportunities arise in ways that surpass human effort, it is often a sign of divine orchestration. Conversely, when obstacles continually arise, when confusion grows, and when things repeatedly fall apart despite best efforts, it may be a sign that God is redirecting. While perseverance is important, forcing something that God is not blessing can lead to unnecessary heartache. A relationship that is meant to be will not require endless striving. It will be marked by grace, patience, and a shared vision for the future. The key to recognizing these signs is a heart that is willing to listen. Many people miss God's confirmations because they are too focused on what they want, rather than what he is saying. True discernment requires surrendering personal desires and being open to whatever God reveals, even if it is not what was expected. The greatest assurance comes not from forcing an outcome, but from trusting that when God speaks, his direction will always lead to the best possible future. Marriage is often seen as the ultimate expression of love, but its purpose goes far beyond romance and companionship. It is a divine institution designed with intentionality, carrying a meaning that stretches beyond human understanding. At its core, marriage is not just about personal happiness, but about fulfilling a greater purpose, one that reflects God's design, builds strong foundations for families, and contributes to the growth and stability of society. It is not merely a contract, but a covenant, a sacred commitment that calls for love, sacrifice, and unity. Marriage serves as a mirror of God's relationship with humanity. Just as God is faithful, loving, and patient with his people, marriage requires the same attributes between partners. It is a relationship where selflessness must be practiced daily, where two people commit to supporting, nurturing, and uplifting each other, even when feelings waver. Love is not just an emotion, it is a choice, an intentional decision to honor, respect, and cherish another person despite challenge. Marriage teaches patience, forgiveness, and humility, shaping individuals into better versions of themselves as they learn to love in a way that reflects divine grace. Beyond personal growth, marriage is a partnership with a purpose. It is not simply about two people coming together for their own benefit, but about what they can accomplish together. A strong marriage is one that contributes to the well-being of others, whether through raising children, serving their community, or supporting each other's callings. Marriage creates a foundation for future generations, providing a stable and loving environment where values are passed down and wisdom is shared. The impact of a godly marriage extends beyond the couple. It influences children, families, and even society at large. A healthy marriage fosters stability, instills principles of love and respect, and demonstrates the power of unity. Marriage is also designed to refine and strengthen character. It exposes weaknesses, challenges selfishness, and requires continual growth. In singleness, personal flaws can often be ignored or hidden, but in marriage they are brought to the surface, requiring individuals to confront them with honesty and a willingness to change. Growth in marriage comes not from avoiding difficulties, but from working through them with patience and understanding. It is through this process that individuals learn what it truly means to serve, to compromise, and to extend grace. The trials of marriage are not meant to weaken but to refine, creating a deeper bond and a stronger foundation. Another key purpose of marriage is companionship. Humans are created for connection, and marriage provides a unique form of companionship that is deeper than friendship or family bonds. It is the opportunity to walk through life with a partner, to share burdens, to celebrate victories, and to offer unwavering support. In a world that can be isolating and filled with challenges, marriage serves as a refuge, a place where two people find comfort, encouragement, and a sense of belonging. However, true companionship in marriage is built on more than attraction. It requires intentional investment, communication, and a shared commitment to grow together. Marriage is not just about the couple, it is about glorifying God through their union. A marriage centered on faith becomes a testimony of love, grace, and perseverance. It is a reminder that love is not about receiving, but about giving, not about perfection, but about growth. When a couple prioritizes their relationship with God, their marriage reflects His love to the world. It becomes a source of strength, an example of commitment, and a light that inspires others. True fulfillment in marriage comes not from seeking happiness alone, but from embracing its divine purpose, allowing it to shape, refine, and uplift both individuals into something far greater than themselves. Fear and doubt have a way of creeping into the mind, especially when standing at the threshold of something significant. They whisper uncertainties, magnify weaknesses, and create barriers where none exist. They make even the strongest individuals question their path, their worth, and their ability to move forward. Fear distorts reality, making the possible seem impossible, while doubt erodes confidence, making the capable feel inadequate. Yet, neither fear nor doubt is meant to dictate the course of life. They are not signs to retreat, but opportunities to grow, to lean into faith, and to embrace the challenges that lead to transformation. The presence of fear does not mean the absence of faith, but allowing fear to control decisions can lead to missed opportunities. It is easy to stay in the comfort of the familiar, avoiding risks, shielding oneself from the possibility of failure. But growth does not happen in the absence of challenge. It happens in the moments when fear is acknowledged but not obeyed, when doubt is recognized but not given the final say. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. Every great achievement, every significant breakthrough was once met with uncertainty. Yet those who pressed on discovered that fear was merely an illusion of limitation. Doubt often arises from comparison, from measuring one's journey against another's, from assuming that everyone else has it figured out while one remains lost. It stems from the belief that shortcomings define worth, that past failures determine future outcomes. But doubt loses its power when one shifts focus from inadequacy to purpose. No one is called to walk another's path. Each journey is unique, and every challenge faced is part of the preparation for what is to come. Rather than questioning ability, the focus must be on readiness, on developing the strength and wisdom necessary for the road ahead. Doubt diminishes when purpose becomes greater than fear. Fear feeds on uncertainty, but faith thrives in it. There is no certainty in life, no perfect guarantee that every decision will unfold as expected, but certainty is not what brings peace. Trust does. Trust that the steps taken in faith are not in vain, that even in missteps there is grace, and in every detour there is a lesson. Fear makes the unknown seem like a threat, while faith sees it as an opportunity. The unknown is not to be feared but embraced, for it is where growth happens, where strength is built, and where the greatest rewards are found. Breaking free from fear and doubt requires action. Fear thrives in hesitation, in overanalyzing every possibility, in waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. But confidence is built through movement, through taking steps forward, even when uncertainty lingers. Small steps lead to momentum, and momentum leads to breakthroughs. Fear diminishes when action is taken, when risks are embraced, and when one proves to themselves that they are capable. The mind clings to past failures, but action creates new experiences, new victories that overwrite the narrative of fear. There will always be moments of hesitation, times when the weight of uncertainty feels overwhelming, but fear and doubt are not meant to be the rulers of life. They are simply obstacles to be overcome. They test resolve, shape character, and refine determination. Every fear faced weakens its hold. Every doubt challenged loses its grip. Moving forward is not about having all the answers, but about trusting that clarity will come with each step taken. The greatest victories belong to those who refuse to be paralyzed by fear, who dare to believe in possibilities beyond what they can see, and who choose to walk in faith, despite the doubts that try to hold them back. Patience is often one of the most difficult virtues to develop, yet it is one of the most necessary. In a world that thrives on instant gratification, waiting can feel like a test of endurance, an endless stretch of uncertainty that challenges even the strongest of hearts. But the journey of life is not meant to be rushed. It unfolds in its own time, with lessons woven into each season. Trusting in the process means understanding that delays are not denials, that every moment of waiting is an opportunity for growth, refinement, and preparation for what lies ahead. There is a purpose in every season, even in the ones that feel slow, frustrating, or unclear. Patience is not just about enduring the wait, but about embracing it, recognizing that the journey itself holds immense value. Every challenge, every delay, every seeming setback is shaping something within, preparing the heart, mind, and spirit for what is to come. It is easy to grow impatient when things do not happen according to personal timelines, but true trust means believing that there is a reason for the timing of every step. The waiting period is never wasted. It is where strength is built, character is refined, and clarity is found. Doubt often creeps in when the road ahead seems uncertain, whispering that nothing is happening, that time is slipping away. It is tempting to force outcomes, to rush decisions, to try to take control when patience wears thin, but forcing what is not ready can lead to struggles that were never meant to be faced, to burdens that were never meant to be carried. Trusting the journey means letting go of the need to control every detail and allowing life to unfold in its rightful time. It is about surrendering the urge to manipulate outcomes and instead embracing the peace that comes with knowing that what is meant to be will find its way. There is wisdom in waiting, in allowing things to develop naturally rather than rushing ahead blindly. Often, what seems like a delay is actually protection, a divine orchestration that ensures the right doors open at the right time. Growth happens in the waiting, in the moments of uncertainty, in the times of questioning, in the seasons of longing. It is in these moments that patience is stretched, faith is strengthened, and trust is tested. Learning to trust the journey means embracing the unknown with confidence, knowing that even when things do not make sense, there is a plan unfolding beyond what can be seen. Patience is not passive. It is an active choice to remain steadfast, to keep moving forward even when the path is unclear. Trust is not about ignoring reality, but about believing that even in the midst of challenges, there is a way through. When obstacles arise, patience reminds that difficulties are not permanent, that struggles do not define the outcome. The journey is full of unexpected turns, moments of delay, and periods of waiting, but each step forward, no matter how small, brings one closer to the destination. Looking back, it often becomes clear why certain things did not happen sooner, why certain doors remained closed, and why the journey unfolded the way it did. What once seemed like an unbearable weight turns out to have been a necessary season of growth and preparation. Trusting in the journey means believing that every step, whether fast or slow, is leading towards something greater. Patience is not about passively waiting for life to happen, but about moving forward with faith, knowing that in the right time, everything will fall into place exactly as it is meant to be. Faith is the foundation of a steady and purposeful life, a deep trust that what is meant to be will unfold in its rightful time. Desperation, on the other hand, is rooted in fear, in the belief that if things do not happen immediately, they may never happen at all. One moves with confidence, even in uncertainty, while the other grasps anxiously at whatever appears within reach, regardless of whether it is right. Walking in faith means trusting that the path ahead is being shaped, even when the way is unclear, even when waiting feels unbearable, even when circumstances seem to suggest otherwise. It is a posture of assurance rather than panic, of trust rather than control. Desperation leads to hasty decisions, forcing things that are not ready, settling for what is convenient rather than what is best. It clouds judgment, making it difficult to discern between what is truly meant and what is merely a distraction. Faith, however, walks with wisdom, waiting for clarity, listening for confirmation, and moving forward only when the time is right. It does not rush into something out of fear of being left behind, nor does it cling to things that are not aligned with purpose. Instead, faith allows space for things to unfold as they should, knowing that what is truly meant cannot be missed. The difference between walking in faith and moving in desperation is found in the posture of the heart. A heart filled with trust remains calm even in the waiting, knowing that every delay serves a purpose. A desperate heart, however, is restless, always searching for a way to speed up the process, always fearing that something will be lost if immediate action is not taken. But life does not reward desperation, it rewards trust, patience, and wisdom. The strongest and most lasting things are not built in haste, but through careful preparation, through seasons of refinement, through steps taken in confidence rather than panic. There is a reason why some doors do not open immediately, why some prayers take time to be answered, why some desires seem to linger just out of reach. It is not because they are being denied, but because the right moment has not yet come. When faith leads, there is no need to strive endlessly, no need to chase what is not ready, no need to force outcomes that are not aligned. Trusting in the process means believing that what is truly meant will come in the right time, in the right way, without the need for manipulation or desperation. Desperation can make even the strongest person settle for less than they deserve, convincing them that any option is better than waiting. But faith reminds that waiting is not empty time. It is a time of preparation, a time of refinement, a time of becoming ready for what is to come. It is in these moments of waiting that strength is built, that wisdom is developed, that clarity is gained. The path ahead is not about grasping at anything that appears, but about discerning what is truly meant. The difference between those who walk in faith and those who move in desperation is not circumstance, it is trust. Faith does not ignore challenges, it faces them with confidence, knowing that struggles do not mean defeat. Desperation sees obstacles and panics, assuming that setbacks mean the journey is over. But faith understands that every delay, every challenge, every unexpected turn is part of a greater story, one that is unfolding exactly as it should. The choice is always present to trust the process or to force an outcome. Those who walk in faith move with assurance, knowing that the path ahead is already prepared, that what is truly meant cannot be taken away, and that the journey itself is shaping them into the person they are meant to be.